Hey, it's Andrew with Charlotte Content Marketing. I've got a question for you. Why do marketing agencies require a contract? Now, I can't speak for all marketing agencies. Everybody does their own thing and everybody's got their own way of doing things, but the question does get brought up quite often. There are a couple reasons, and pretty much all of them actually benefit you, the client. When it comes to putting together any kind of marketing strategy, typically these are long-term things, and that's especially true when it comes to content marketing. Content marketing is not something that is generally recommended for startups or new businesses or micro businesses. If you're just getting off the ground, yes, you need content, absolutely, but do you really need to invest in a full-on content strategy and work with an agency to produce content and all of that? Probably not, and it may not be worth your investment at that point in time. Content marketing is usually like a second or third step, and once you've gotten yourself established a bit, that's when content marketing comes into play, and that's where it's going to be most beneficial. And so this leads me to the first reason why a marketing agency might want you to sign a contract, and that's because when we're putting together a content strategy or just any type of marketing strategy, typically these are going to be long-term, they're going to be involved, they're going to have multiple steps to them. And so if you quit halfway through, if we start the ball rolling and we lay the groundwork for a particular strategy, we get some of the content produced, and then after a month or two, you say, never mind, I don't want to do it. You're not going to get the benefit from that. You will have wasted that 1 to 2 months worth of time and financial investment. So really it's to protect you and to ensure that we're able to deliver on our promise of trying to help you reach your goals. So we're not going to be able to help you reach those goals unless we follow through with the plan. And we can't follow through with the plan unless we're all in agreement that this is how long we're going to invest in this. So once again, if you quit halfway through, you're going to end up wasting time and money. And we don't want to see you do that. So we lay out at the beginning, this is how long we think it's going to take to achieve your goals based on what we think is going to be best for this situation. So the second reason why a marketing agency might want you to sign a contract is we take things on a case-by-case basis. So while yes, there are best practices that we follow, and there are things that we do based on experience and expertise that we're going to put into place automatically, that doesn't mean that everything that we do, everything that we know applies to your specific situation. So that often means that there are certain tools or services or subscriptions that we have to put in place in order to achieve your goals. In that, we have to invest in those tools. Those are fixed costs that come along with whatever the strategy is that we're putting into place. And a lot of times those tools either are an annual agreement, or a subscription might be a 6-month agreement or an annual agreement. And so therefore we have to pay that up front, and these are not necessarily tools that we're using on a day-to-day basis. Or it could be a situation where if we're building links, we may come across opportunities for sponsored links, and these, what we're talking about is inbound links back to your site, and these help to boost authority in terms of search engine optimization, SEO. So if we end up having to pay for a sponsored link, it may be a 6-month agreement with a site with high authority. If that sponsored link gets paid for up front, and then you drop out after, again, a month or two, we still ended up absorbing that cost. And so, therefore, we're going to put in the contract the length of time that it's going to require to fulfill that subscription or whatever that obligation is to the site where we have this link. Now, it's not always the case that we have a contract in place. There are going to be times where if we're doing a one-off service, then we're not going to need a contract in place. Once again, if there are no specialty tools or software involved, or if your goal is just to get a specific piece of content or pieces of content produced, then we don't need to have a contract in place. That's more just a work for hire, and we work on a case-by-case basis in those kinds of situations. So I'll give you an example. If a client comes to us and says, hey, I need a website, and that's it. They don't want any ongoing content production. They don't want any SEO work done. They don't want any video work done. They don't want any podcast work done. They're not looking for lead generation or email marketing or anything else. They just want a website. We can take care of that. We'll put together the website. We'll work with them to develop that website and get it exactly how they want it. But once that's done, we turn the website over to the client, and that's the end of the relationship right there. In a case like that, we would likely not have a contract in place. If there are certain tools or subscriptions that need to be involved in that, we would include that in our statement of work document that's passed on to the client. But this would not be an ongoing contractual agreement. And the website would just be turned over at the end of the service, and that would be the end of it. Now, there are other situations where we don't have a contract in place, but we do have an upfront fee in place for certain things like podcast production. So we offer podcast production on site. We come to your workplace, we get everything set up, we can do audio, video, the whole 9 yards. We also take care of distribution to Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, all the top platforms. In doing that, we have a cost associated with the hosting and the distribution of the podcast episodes. So with that, we have an upfront fee of $250 for the year, and that goes ahead and takes care of the hosting and the distribution. That's not counting the actual recording and the editing and the production and the pre-planning and the cover art and all the other stuff that we do. But that does take care of our fixed cost involved in the hosting and distribution of the podcast. And then that way, that's covered for the whole year. So you can do one episode every 6 months. You can do 4 episodes a month. It's up to you. But so in that situation, we don't have a contract in place, but technically it's a contractual agreement simply because you already paid that upfront fee. So once again, I don't pretend to speak for every marketing agency out there. Everyone has their own reasons for doing what they do, and that's why it's important to take your time and talk to any marketing agency that you're considering working with and making sure that they're a good fit for you. If you want to learn more about Charlotte Content Marketing, you can contact us directly by emailing hello@charlottecontentmarketing.com. We're also on Facebook, X, Instagram, LinkedIn, all the socials, obviously here on YouTube. And you can also reach us on our website. We have a contact form on there where you can fill out information about your project and your budget and all that kind of stuff so that we can find a solution that works for you. And then if you want to give us a call directly, you can dial 704-323-6762, and we'll be more than happy to schedule a phone call or a Google Meet or a Zoom or something over VoIP that works for you. We can also meet locally in the Charlotte area if you'd prefer to do that as well. So thanks again for watching, and make sure to subscribe for more content tips, and I'll catch you next time.